During Speed Week, Dodge made clear that the Hemi cars from Brampton that dominated streets for over a decade were coming to an end in December 2023. Rather than update and innovate the V8 lineup they inherited, newly created Stellantis had decided to turn Dodge into Tesla Romeo USA. While GM is breaking records with the highly sought-after C8 program, Ford has issued a big FU to Dodge by offering something that it won't, something that fans actually wants, and something that fans might jump ship for: a 6-speed V8 muscle car. As with my last video, I have a poll asking the question: if Ford and GM offered V8 muscle cars, would fans leave Dodge for a V8? And shockingly, about 80% said they would jump ship. I'm sure a lot of us are in the same opinion that we don't care if Hurricanes are more efficient, which it barely is when you look at the numbers that I posted in this video, or if it has a little more horsepower than the Hemi. But with a few bolt-ons and a tune, you'll be back in the same ballpark. I'll go ahead and say, I know this video is probably going to hurt some brand loyal people's feelings, but it has to be said that a lot of people only like Dodge over the years because of the V8 platform. How many other brands you know can keep relatively the same car in production for almost 20 years and the cars are still sought after? But I promise you this, Dodge will never get away with that again if the best we can hope for is an inline-6 engine or EV motors. Dodge's Hemi platform, to me, symbolized defiance. If you had a Hemi car, you didn't care if you was loud, you didn't care if you was obnoxious, you didn't care about the other smaller crap engines. You knew once you stepped foot inside of a Hemi car, regardless if it was a Challenger, Charger, Durango Hellcat, TRX, Trackhawk, whatever, you had one of the baddest vehicles on the street and everyone took notice. For better or for worse. One of the most highly stolen vehicles in America on a daily basis, and still the majority of owners want to get back into another one. But would you have the same feeling with an inline-4, inline-6, V6, or EV Dodge? I doubt that is the case. Just saying. On September 14th, Ford will show the latest Mustang at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at Mustang Stampede. I put up on the screen the timeline for Ford's event, but the next-gen Mustang has been testing for a while out on the roads, unlike Dodge's next-gen cars, which have been testing indoors to hide their Hurricane drivetrain inside the production plants. And unlike Dodge, Ford has officially confirmed the next-gen Mustang will have a 6-speed manual transmission and a V8. Looking at this graphic from Ford, it's obvious they wanted everyone to know that a 6-speed manual was coming back for the 7th generation Mustang. Good luck trying to find a manual transmission in some Challengers over the last couple of years. But there is potential for a manual to return in Dodge in 2024 in both EV and ICE vehicles. Jeep unveiled the Jeep Magneto EV concept last year at Easter Jeep Safari. That EV came with the same 6-speed manual that comes in the Wrangler, but it was mated to EV motors and a 2-speed transfer case, but it had no Pentastar that normally comes in a Wrangler. So there is a working EV concept with a manual transmission, so maybe a version of the Charger Daytona EV will have a 6-speed manual as an option. I did this video a while ago showing a shifter hole in the transmission tunnel, and this video where Dodge has patents that show that the Hemi, Hurricane, and EV drivetrains are designed to fit in the same locations. The first vehicle to prove that this is possible is the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, offering both Hemi and Hurricane engines this year, and has a new EV version coming within the next 2 years. The Grand Wagoneer is proof that if Dodge wants to put a Hemi in the next-gen Charger Daytona, they could. If Dodge wants to make a 6-speed car, regardless if it is an EV, a Hemi, or a Hurricane, the Jeep Magneto and patents prove that it is possible. It all depends on Stellantis, and if you guys jump ship to other brands, hurting the bottom line. I do have a pretty good feeling that there will be quite a few Hemi swaps in the next gen cars, and they will be a taste of what could have been with lighter and more aerodynamic Dodge cars. I'm sure some at Dodge didn't want to drop the Hemi out of the next gen cars, but for Tim Knizz's to claim they listen to fans, they obviously didn't listen to the ones that actually buy several of the same car over and over again just to have the newest version with only slight changes. Those are the many and not the few that scream climate this and climate that, but want to accept the fact that you're leaving media craters in the earth to mine for a mineral that won't last, and will leave 5,000-pound bricks in millions of people's driveways as it ages, because we all know it's going to be an expensive, out-of-warranty battery replacement. I'm not a climate denier, but I am a realist that knows that manufacturers are going to snake their way out of having to pay to replace those expensive, heavy battery packs and push those costs on the customers. EVs are not the answer right now, and canceling V8s isn't going to get us there any faster. With several tweets from Ford, they all play the next generation Mustang's exhaust note, letting you know that V8s aren't going away. How long Ford's Coyote V8 will stick around is a question, but it'll for sure be here after Stellantis makes Dodge give up its Hemi platform. As far as we know, the only engines we'll see in the next gen Challenger and Charger will be Hurricanes. Dodge has been keeping the next gen ICE engines a secret, but Stellantis' press release confirmed that Hurricanes will be the primary engines for selling large vehicles. But I think Stellantis designed the next gen platforms for ICE, Hurricane, and Hemi engine configurations to keep their options open just in case a lot of customers left the brands. Dodge would have been smart to unveil a Hurricane or a Hemi next gen car during Speed Week a few weeks ago. All this smoke and mirrors is going to cost Dodge sales in the long run because people are going to lock up orders from other companies that they know they're getting certain things from. It's getting to a point now, over the last few years, it's better to order your new car now rather than waiting because manufacturers are jacking up prices every few months. Look how much the TRX prices jumped up in really 1 year. And then look at all the new additions Dodge has shown so far. They are all Hellcat prices for scat packs with basically sticker packages. Ford, and I throw in GM as well, all they had to do is just keep a well-priced performance V8 in the lineup for customers, and honestly add a 4-door muscle car with a V8, and I think Dodge will be hurting in the near future. Based on some recent info from Ford Authority, the next-gen Mustang will carry over its 5.0-liter Coyote power plant, which is pretty impressive against scat packs already. Did you know you can get a pretty loaded Mustang GT for basically the same price as a base Challenger scat pack wide body, or a very loaded Camaro SS at the same price range? And apparently the Mustang had its hybrid and all-wheel drive versions canceled, and we'll see the traditional formula of rear-wheel drive V8 cars for the next several years. We're really just 1 week away from seeing what Ford has to show for the next-gen Mustang, and with rumors that the Camaro will discontinue in 2024, the Mustang might be our last V8 hope to look forward to. So I'll make sure to cover the Mustang event on the 14th, and I'll make another video about alternatives to the RT, Scat Pack, and Hellcats. Because let's face it, we all know that Dodge and dealers are going to put a lot of customers in bidding wars to get one of these last edition cars. And for those of us not interested in paying tens of thousands of dollars over what's fair, I'll make sure to let you guys know where some of the bargains are at. And until then, I'm out.